Hi, hello everybody. I'm Robert Christopher. Welcome back to Conscious Creator. Thanks for joining us. We have a pretty powerful topic today. It is on the present moment and what that means and why it's important. So I will start today's episode by asking all of you, are you present? We have all heard the advice to be present or stay present. Well, what does it really mean? And why is it so important for humans to practice presence? Well, because the generous present moment, a more accurate term, is really all there is. The past is already behind you, and the future has yet to occur, so it does not exist either. That makes sense to most of us, but why is it so hard to stay present? And why do most of us spend most of our waking hours worrying, thinking, and feeling about something that happened long ago or hasn't even happened yet? Why is it so difficult to remain present consistently throughout our lives? Well, the short answer is simple. It's because you're running a past program. In order to experience something new in your life, a new opportunity, a positive change, or health, wealth, and abundance, you will need to master the concept of the generous present moment, the eternal now. Most people have a general understanding of what it means to be present, but in order to create significant changes in your life, you will need a completely different understanding of the concept. Excuse me. To really understand the generous present moment will require you to get beyond the physical world. Get beyond your life, get beyond your story, your body, your environment, and even time. In order to turn possibility into reality, you first need to get out of your own way. After all, if you don't get beyond who you think you are and how you see the world, your reality, it's not possible to create anything new in your life. So get out of your own way. In order to understand these new concepts, you'll need a brief understanding of how the human brain functions. When any neurological tissue in the brain or the body is activated, it creates mind. The mind is your brain in action. Throughout your day, you use a specific mind for each specific task, like taking a shower, driving a car, etc. A specific mind is used for each. So each time you use your mind to, say, drive a car, your brain is turning on specific sequences and patterns repetitively, over and over, so frequently that the neurons in your brain are firing together so consistently that they become more wired together. In other words, your brain is actually creating its own software program for the specific task of driving. Thoughts that fire together, wire together. You keep automatically selecting and instructing those same neurons over and over, and they become habit. And instead of being fully present, you're now running an automatic program. For the most part, your brain is an artifact. It is a product of the past. It is your living record of everything that has happened to you, everything you've learned, and you draw on those past experiences in order to attach an emotion to it, since emotions are the end product of an experience. And most, if not all of our experiences, come from our interaction with our external environment. So think of emotions as the chemical feedback from past experiences. The more impactful a past experience is, whether it's good or bad, the longer it stays with you because it becomes more embossed neurologically in your brain. So when an experience changes how you normally feel chemically and heightens your attention to what caused it, your brain will associate a specific person, place, or thing with where your body is at, a specific time and place. This is how memories are created, from experience with the outer environment. This is important because it shows proof that the only place the past actually exists is in your brain and body. Otherwise, it's not even real. So let's look at how your past becomes your future. When you have a thought or feel an emotion, you want your body to feel exactly how you're thinking, right? When you think a thought, a biochemical reaction begins in your brain, causing it to release certain chemicals, and you become addicted to these chemicals. This is how thoughts literally become matter or become real. These chemicals are like little messengers telling your body to feel what you're thinking. When you become aware of how you are feeling, your brain continues to release those same chemicals to reinforce that initial feeling. So if you have a fearful thought, you will feel fear. And the emotion of fear will cause you to think and feel more fearful thoughts, releasing even more chemicals to increase that fear. Now, you're caught in a loop where your thinking creates feeling and your feeling creates thinking. And since how you think and feel is your state of being, then your entire state of being is now in the past. Get it? Over time, as your brain fires and wires the same circuits in your brain repetitively, you are actually hardwiring your brain or programming it through the same thoughts and feelings into the same patterns. Now your brain is just a record of the past. If you stay in the same state of being for extended periods of your life, you are literally conditioning your body into the past, making it impossible to experience the generous present moment. You'll never be present. Before you know it, this becomes what you call your life. So it's safe to say that if you wake up every morning and search for that old familiar feeling called you are starting each day in the past. You wake up and immediately think of your problems and those people associated with them every single day, and you're not present. And if you cannot get up and think greater than how you feel, you are also in the past. And if those familiar emotions are going to dictate the choices that you're going to make that day and how you're going to act, you are now predictable, living in the past, and your life will never change. As time goes by, and every day of your life stays with the same routine, you wake up at the same time, same side of the bed, go through the same morning rituals, think the same thoughts, then drive to work on the same street, interact the same way with the same coworkers, this standard routine now becomes a habit. By definition, a habit is a redundant set of automatic, unconscious thoughts, behaviors, and emotions acquired through repetition. So now, you're unconscious. You are now on autopilot, simply running a series of programs. You are not present. You've lost your free will, and your body now has become the mind. So as the years go by through these habits, you have emotionally conditioned your body to live in the past, day by day. What's worse is now your past will become your future. Now that you have become predictable, there is now no room for the unknown, eliminating the exciting concept of new possibilities, change, or new potentials to occur in your life. If you can predict how you're feeling or how you're going to feel after an experience, you're in the known. The magic of the generous present moment rests in the unknown. You will always be the same. This is living in survival instead of creation. You run the same automatic programs each day because if you can't predict the feeling of an experience, you will resist the urge to engage in it. This becomes the thinking, feeling loop that becomes what you call your life. So how can you change from this state of being? Well, it first requires that you become aware of who you've become, your thoughts, feelings, and emotions, and what you are doing. It also requires an understanding of how your thinking and feeling state of being creates a measurable electromagnetic field that surrounds all of our physical bodies. That's energy. That is a frequency. As Nikola Tesla accurately said, energy, frequency, and vibration. That's all there is in this universe. If you want to change your life, you have to change your energy. Since everything is energy, think of your emotions as like energy in motion. When someone walks into a room with a highly aroused emotion, whether it's good or bad, we can all feel their energy, right? Even before their body language. So if every single day you are recreating the past day over and over with the same thoughts and the same emotions, you're kind of broadcasting the same electromagnetic field over and over with the same message and the same energy. Nothing will change in your life until you change your energy. To change your state of being, you will have to change the way you think and feel. It now requires you to become aware of where you are placing your attention. Where you place your attention is where you place your energy. And your attention is always on a familiar emotion. Your energy and attention are in the past. You are literally siphoning energy out of the generous present moment and putting it into the past. This leaves you with no energy to change anything in your life or create anything new. The generous present moment represents the unknown. This is the space where nothing can be predicted, but everything can be created. This is the eternal space where unlimited possibilities are created. So once you realize that you're running a past program day after day and have become aware, enough at least, to attempt to make changes in your life, how do you initiate change? Remember, your life will not change until your energy changes, right? It is clear now that your body has been following your mind into the known. But if your body can follow your mind into the known, can it also follow your mind into the unknown? If so, will it open up the possibility for new experiences? What if you started to place your attention on new possibilities or unknown experiences? Would it allow us to take our body back out of the mind, bring us back into the present moment, and prime our body for a new experience or new experiences? Well, scientifically, the answer is yes. We can change our brains and bodies by thought alone. One of the best ways to accomplish this is through the concept of mental rehearsal. It requires a very clear intention. If you can focus on specific imagery, an intention that you desire, and become very present with the thoughts and feelings associated with that intention repeatedly over and over, your brain and body doesn't know the difference between what is happening in your outer environment and what is happening in your inner world of thoughts and feelings. Your brain has no idea. Your imagination is a very powerful tool, so use it. What this means is that you can make your brain and body look as if a physical experience has already happened without having the actual experience. For all of us, our thoughts create our realities. So where you consistently put your attention not only becomes who you are, but will determine your future. In other words, can you teach your body emotionally what your future looks like now, as though it has already happened? Well, the answer is yes. As stated, nothing changes until your energy changes. In the generous present moment, there simply is no time or space for anything really, just spontaneous creation. It is the eternal now, where there is no room for limited emotions such as guilt, fear, and shame. There's no room to predict a familiar outcome. There is no room for past programs to exist. There's nothing. It is important to become aware of how much of your creative energy is tied up and wasted on limited beliefs and thoughts that you have created that aren't even real. Imagine if you took all of that energy you use for fear, guilt, hatred, lack, or predicting, and redirect it and used it to create a new destiny. To do that, you'll have to get beyond all of those things that you have created in your outer world by taking your attention off of them. One of the best tools for this is meditation, which simply means to become familiar with. In meditation, you have to take your attention off of everything in your known world. Literally, you have to become nobody, no thing, nowhere, and in no time. All that you are now is an awareness with no judgment. You need to become the observer. Once you overcome your emotional body and you take your attention off of everything known to you, You begin to call back all of that energy. All of that comes back to you, breaking away from your past present reality, and settling you back into the generous present moment. Little victories. During this process of disconnecting from the outer world, you will learn how to change your brain waves, and this is important. On a daily basis, when you're at work or interacting with other people, your brain is operating in what we call beta brainwave or high beta brainwave during stressful situations, which is normal. When you take your attention off the outer world and become nobody, nowhere, and in no time, your brain will slowly settle back into what we call theta brainwave, which is a much more slower, suggestive, dreamlike state. When your brain drops into theta, you can now access the subconscious mind, and that's where all of your programs are stored. The best time for meditation is early morning and late at night because your brainwaves are already in theta, or at least they're close to it. So the door is open to the subconscious. There are optimum times to disconnect from the outer world and access those programs and even rewrite them to what you desire. It's important to remember that your thoughts are creating your reality. So what thoughts do you want to think? When you're in the sweet spot of the generous present moment, your familiar past and your predictable future no longer exist. And now you are ready to create new possibilities for you in your life. So stay present, everybody. As above, so below. This is Robert Christopher. Conscious Creator is where we're at. We have powerful content, and we're here to build an invincible community, and we love you all. As above, so below. Thank you all.